What's up, guys? I'm Nick.
And I'm Myra.
And let's chit chat. All right. So, no, I gotta pause.
At least
so that
pause
we
a
can
little
do
bit.
Should we do the intro again?
What's up, guys?
I'm Nick.
And I'm Myra.
And let's chit chat.
Satire on the beat.
Welcome to episode 2 of Chit Chat with Nick and Mara. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries.
I guess you can kind of say it's all of like this whole Me Too thing as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things that we're going to talk about.
Would you consider the other two things Me Too? Okay.
I mean, I guess, is it not Me Too because they're not celebrities? I
don't know. That's a good question. We can ask them, let us know if they would consider it Me Too. Which I think.
Did research.
No. Yeah, y'all just let us know if y'all think it's a Me Too
I
thing.
thought that you told me the Me Too thing was like people who came out against celebrities.
Yeah.
So I thought I guess it would be more like women standing up for themselves or like sexual harassment or physical mental abuse.
I think it is all of that. I haven't really heard too many of the Me Too advocates speak out about this. So
about
I don't
R.
know.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Well, the lady with the big nose in the documentary. I guess I shouldn't say that on tape. It's the lady that founded the whole thing is
the mute R. Kelly. Is that part? She's part of the Me Too?
No. The Me Too lady is part of the. She's the black lady. She, I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad.
It's okay. We'll move on. So just kind of keep ourselves on a schedule so that we don't run on.
Make a 3-hour video.
I am gonna time us, and then if this ends up being more than one part, just stick with it. You guys, we'll just keep posting it. So I'm gonna give us 30 minutes to just kind of talk about
the show
our thoughts and stuff. So I'm gonna set the timer now. All right, we are on the clock.
Okay.
So
where do we begin?
Well, I think I don't know what I want to talk about first. Honestly, I'm still trying to pick my jaw up off the floor from this series.
I don't know.
You watched it before me, so you've had a little bit more time to digest everything.
I can't mess with R. Kelly no more.
And that makes me so mad. You know why? Because he has put out some good music.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's music that, he's got the little sex songs, but he's also got some of that inspirational music where you just kind of,
but
it lifts you up. And then at the same time, you're just is there a such thing as separating the person from the artist or the person from their music?
I think when you do that, you make an excuse. When you separate the artist from the person, because initially it's the same person. It's just that it's kind of like you are not the same person at work that you are at home because you play a different role. But if I do something at work, I still am going to be held accountable for it. I mean, no different than if I do something at home. I can't say, well, this was home Myra that did this, so this don't matter. So I don't think that you can really separate it, and I feel like that's probably why he's been able to go as far as he has, because people want to say, oh, R. Kelly didn't do that, or
so that leads me to my next thing of, do you think if people had paid more attention to the whole Aaliyah thing, do you think he would have become successful as he did?
I'm not gonna say he would not have been as successful. Maybe some of the other behind the scenes stuff would not have taken place as it did. But then again, you never know.
So, because that's my thing. I remember hearing about the whole him and Aaliyah thing, and at first nobody knew how old she was. Because for the longest time, nobody had an age on Aaliyah because she would never say her age.
I think that you also have to take into the consideration the role that media plays in it. Like, media now is definitely
different.
Yeah, Luke, the smoke is coming all in the camera, and I can
you
see
could
it
just
like
act like it was
vividly.
a fog machine.
It's just
I mean, we gonna cut it out anyway. This sad little thing, but
part of the thing they don't need to know.
What was I saying?
It could be an
I
incident.
think I think that the way that media is today is a lot different than it was in 1994, 1995, or whenever it was that Aaliyah, whatever, got famous. So I think the way that media is, it plays a big role into the way that we're seeing things, because even though people don't have cable necessarily to watch the docuseries, I'm on Facebook and I see a million different things about it. So media is a lot different, obviously. Growing up, we didn't have cable all the time. I feel like you had to be special to have cable, or you had to be rich to have cable when we was growing up. Cable. So a lot of the stuff that they cover on R. Kelly, like, we heard about it. But to be honest, it wasn't something that it really was brought to my attention a lot, because I didn't have MTV and stuff like that to get all that celebrity news. I was going to say
something. Plus with the way we was raised, because we weren't allowed to be into the whole secular.
Yeah, that's
especially
true.
with our grandmother. In a sense, like, you mostly live with mommy. I did live a portion of like middle school and high school when all of this was going around with Aaliyah. I lived with my grandmother.
And that means I was in elementary school, so I sure don't remember.
So with with my grandmother, secular music and having MTV on and VH1 and BT and all of that stuff.
The TV was on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
that was it.
Like, it wasn't really something that we were allowed to do. So I felt like I was living under a rock, because I didn't really hear a lot of this stuff that was going on.
Yeah, it seemed for me like listening to those Aaliyah songs, I didn't realize that he produced and wrote the songs on her first album. So now you listen to stuff like AJ Nothing But a Number.
And that's the main one, AJ
And I'm like, okay,
that
R.
is
Kelly.
the main one, because I don't think, well, I mean, unless you really focused back then, which I don't know if people really focus a lot on who wrote the songs. It was more on the artist singing the song, I feel like. So we really didn't, like, nowadays we into more of who wrote that song, who produced it. But I feel like before it was more about the artist and the artist singing that song. So when you hear it, you're not really thinking too much of it. And then now that you know that this man wrote this song for this 14-year-old girl,
it could also be that, like, we are in a different space in our life. We at a different age in our life. So, like, back then, if it was, what year was this? Like 96?
It was the 90s. Don't next
I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. So you telling me that don't mean nothing to me. I mean, but at the same time, if you look at, like, the whole marriage thing between R. Kelly and Aaliyah, if you think about it back in the day, like, look at The Color Purple.
Yeah,
the dad sold off Celie,
but that was a different
older
time,
man.
though. That was a different time.
I mean,
so
but I'm not saying that it's okay in either situation. But you got to think about the fact that the Black history, that's our past. Like, that's where we come from. Like, I'm not saying that it's okay. But stuff like that was seen as normal for me to sell my 15-year-old daughter to this grown man.
It was seen normal even before Aaliyah did that. Like,
right,
even at the time where Aaliyah did it, it was like, wait, he really didn't just marry, But that's why they would never confirm her age, especially when it was started to be rumored on whether or not they were dating. Because I don't remember. Like I said, I was in like middle school and everything when this was going down. I don't ever remember knowing how old Aaliyah was.
Me either.
Like, I don't ever remember. It wasn't until she passed away where I learned of her age, because I remember
like 22.
Yeah, they mentioned, like, she passed away at 22. So that meant that when she married him.
See, I like Aaliyah, but I know a million people will hate me for this, but I think Aaliyah is overrated, to be honest. I say that because I don't feel like she was able to really make a career. I'm not gonna say she doesn't have great music or she didn't have good movies. So do you think that her time got cut? Her time got cut I do,
short?
but I do believe that Aaliyah is overrated, and I feel like people are such huge Aaliyah fans because she did die early. To be honest with you, but I like Aaliyah. I listen to Aaliyah's music, but I do feel like she's overrated. I don't know.
That's for another discussion.
That's just my own opinion. Like I said, I like her music. Overrated. She has decent songs, but she's not somebody that I got in my everyday archive.
But we're not gonna talk about that. What we're gonna talk about is we talking about R. Kelly.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
And
like
his thing. So my thing is, I feel like when people did learn how old she was, it was, I don't think I said the timer. Checking the timer, you guys, don't mind me. So when people did find out how old she was, I think it got brushed under the rug. Like, she was mature for her age, and instead of really looking into, he knew how old she was, and yet he still married this girl, and we all know he was sexually intimate with her.
I don't know. I'm trying to find the
trying
right.
To articulate yourself.
I'm trying to find the right words to say. At what point do you put a little bit of the fault on Aaliyah, her parents, like? And again, this is not to take away from the guilt of the monster that Robert R. Kelly.
Robert, I wanted to call him Robert too. Robert
but I mean, at the same time, you should. I don't know. I'm getting stuck in my words.
No, I know what you're trying to say, because
you can't 100% fault him because.
But if you watch the documentary, it said that the only people that was there when she got married was him. Excuse me, you guys. Him, Aaliyah, and like his personal assistant, and his personal assistant forged documents for them to even be able to get married. So I believe that they did that behind her parents' back. So, like, how did her parents step in if?
Right, but what her parents did do, they annulled the marriage after they found out about it.
After they found out,
so I would give them the credit for that. But
here's how can we talk about the fact that he paid her $100 to be quiet?
That was a lot of money back then. $100. That was a whole lot of money.
It's the time, you guys.
But
so
the fact that she took $100 to shut up, that means that she obviously consented in some way.
She could. Of course, she consented. I believe she consented.
See, but then you had people like this girl, what's her name, Javante or whatever.
Oh,
who she was? Javante.
Oh,
she was like she basically knew everything that was going on. Mm-hmm. She claimed that they seen R. Kelly having sex with Aaliyah on the bus, which her mother denied. Her mother said that never happened.
But her mother wasn't there.
No, but they said that they always were on tour. Like, her mother put a statement out and said that somebody was always on tour with her when they went out. And that's why she made a statement saying she didn't want them, her daughter involved.
I have a question about that. Do you think, now with all of these people, with the people that come out and say that didn't happen, like Aaliyah's parents, like Sparkle's niece, her sister and everything, do you think that they were paid off?
Aaliyah's parents, no, but Sparkle's niece's parents, yes.
I think they were. Let's move from Aaliyah to Sparkle and her niece and that family.
Yeah,
because I believe that he got to them.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He got to them. He paid them off.
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like it was part embarrassment on her niece's part. Like, you're in a video being urinated on. And people know it's you. People can spot you.
I don't know if it's more of a humiliation thing, because they said, I'm almost positive that they said that the girl's still with him.
No, I don't think the niece is still with him.
I'm almost positive.
We're gonna have to check that. Y'all let us know below
at least
if y'all
Sparkle
heard
said that.
Like
I know she lost contact with them behind this whole thing because she
was
upset
from the
that they said that it wasn't her in the video and this and the third. I mean, maybe they did it to avoid the humiliation of their daughter, admitting that it was their daughter, no matter. Although all those people admitted and said, "Oh yeah, I know," like, I know for sure that's her. Like,
I know that's her.
Maybe her parents did that as well to avoid the humiliation.
It could have also been.
And then they blanked out her face as well, so on TV. So that got to tell you something. I mean.
I think for Sparkle, and then let's continue with Sparkle, because I feel like the way the industry turned on her, because she mentioned how basically, like, she got turned against when she, testified, and that's my niece and he's a monster and all of this. I feel like the way the industry turned on her, that's what's wrong with society now. Like, as opposed to, like, trying to take this seriously, trying to figure out, like, y'all turned on this woman.
See, the reason why I can almost guarantee the reason why that is because she is speaking out against somebody. It probably could have been at the same time her career started going down or whatever. So people kind of brush stuff under the rug, like, oh, her career failing, so she's
she
just trying to be noticed or whatever the case may be.
Get come up. Yeah.
So I mean, just off the fact that she did this docu-series thing, and then her war song was like the end credit music for the show. Like, you can even look at that like, oh, she used this for a publicity thing. Like, now she's dropping a single because this thing came out. It's not like she dropped the single and it just so happened to be convenient, but
I don't fault her for that.
I don't fault her for it either.
Use whatever
but
tools
this is
you got
just
to
saying
get.
from like an alternative viewpoint.
What
like,
somebody else might be
right.
thinking. I get what you're saying. I don't fault her. Use whatever tool you got to get where you are. But it's not like it's been a secret about her.
Right.
Unlike some people, it's not been a secret about her, speaking out against him. So I definitely don't fault her in any type of way. But it was crazy because I'm watching this and it was just like little things that would happen where I'm like, why aren't y'all getting out sooner?
I mean, I understand the whole, everybody says, oh, he mentally abused me, so I was too weak to leave. But then if you look at some of these older ladies, like, I don't know.
Well, you can still mentally abuse them and you can still manipulate them.
This is what
I'm saying. But for
saying.
Sparkle, when she said that, like, there was a part in it where she said she was at his house, and I guess there was a couple other guys over there and they was watching a game or something like that, and she kept hearing this knocking, like, do you hear that? What is going on? And then he, acknowledged the person knocking, and it ends up being his wife, asking permission to come out to get something to eat. And she was like, oh, no, that couldn't be me. Just to still stick around when he's treating somebody like that. Like,
I don't know.
And even with him not allowing her to speak to anybody when she did her first video shoot with him.
But how do you allow, like, even the women that wasn't involved with him, like the people on his team were even saying, like, oh, yeah, he kept everybody separated. Nobody could talk to anybody. I mean, for the price, obviously it was worth it for you to work there. I mean, for you to know that some of this stuff was going on, like the girl Javante was saying, oh, we would go out and find girls for him. So, and now you're crying, like, oh, I feel so bad. Oh, at what point do you notice, hey, this is wrong? Like, you know what he's doing to these girls. And even the people who, I'm pretty sure she was a young girl when it happened, but you got like the adults that were in the situation and nobody ever wanted to get involved. At the end of the day, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old is technically still a child. Because if you go to jail, they're going to lock you up with the minors at the age of 18. Like,
it depends on
the law. When I went to jail, I was locked up with the minors, and
personal
I was 18.
Well,
so
I'm saying,
I feel like
it was the nature of the crime, because there are some teenagers, whether from 14 to 19 or whatever, where depending on the crime, you can get charged as an adult. So it does. I
don't know. I think that people need to watch out better for their children. It's important to teach your kids, especially your daughters, when they're young, that they're beautiful. Like, we didn't grow up with a father necessarily, but my mom always told us like that we were beautiful and stuff like that. So it's stuff that we didn't have to look for in a man. And some of these girls, like, for their fathers to allow them to stay in this man's house, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like,
I would have had to fight R. Kelly. Mama, daddy, indifferent.
Well, I would have had
to fight R. Kelly. I'm sorry.
But going back to the talk about, like, turning a blind eye, we've got on two separate occasions where two females turned a blind eye to his past discretions. You had Lisa Van Allen, who, after the whole Aaliyah thing, and then she was like, well, he don't really like underage girls, but he just liked me. So she stuck it out. See, and then you got the I didn't put her name down, but
the one that was at the court day.
Yeah, the one who went to the court. Like, this is right after a man's trial for child pornography, and you're a child.
So,
and he's trying to get your attention and get you to, come and see him and come to his house.
I mean, in that situation, and I'm not saying that it's her fault for whatever happened. Nobody's ever their fault for being a victim. But you took it upon yourself to get to know this man, to be in this man's face every day. You went to his trial while you were supposed to be at school. So, like you said, you're going to a trial for child pornography or whatever the case is, you're a child yourself. What did you think?
And there's no
happen?
victim shame, and I don't want anybody to think that we're like out here trying to victim shame. But it's, you know,
this is just my viewpoint. Like, this is me looking at it.
I'm wondering where your mind is that you allow.
Right, you're going to trial to support him for a child pornography case. Yet you're surprised that he likes children. I don't understand. I feel like with a lot of these women, they were like super fans of R. Kelly. And they were, oh my God, he picked me. Like, so that's now I'm about to.
So you trying to, I feel like that's what they were doing. They were brushing these allegations and these things that was going on in his life under the rug because he likes me. He chose me.
But I feel like even if it wasn't R. Kelly, I feel like as women, we do that regardless of who it is. Like, because you're looking for attention. I mean, I know I'm not the best looking person, but all these women were not the best looking people in the world. Like, so and I'm not saying that everybody, obviously, some of them came out of like broken relationships and stuff like that. But you got to be able to listen to more than somebody telling you how beautiful you are to make that get your panties off.
How do we teach our girls to not fall for that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, it happens every day. Like,
I feel like if it's instilled at home, then you won't have to look for it anywhere else. Just like with your kids, I feel like the same thing applies in a marriage. The same things apply. Like, if you have the things that you need, the tools that you need, or the affection that you need, the attention that you need, then you don't need to seek it elsewhere. Yeah. So, like the one girl that was going to the court case, she was saying that her mom was a single parent. She worked all the time and all this and the third. So that right there is, I mean, it is neglect in a sense. Not to say that her mother is wrong, because I've been there before, working 2 jobs and I barely see my kids. You got to do what you got to do. And not to say that it's her mother's fault or that she intentionally neglected her. But the girl didn't even have no siblings or nothing, I don't think. She didn't at least mention that at all.
I think regardless of how in the picture her mom was, I think she would have found a way to be at that
girls
trial,
are naive
to get
as
to
well.
know R. Kelly, because
young girls, I guess they try to blame it on the fact that at the age of 17, your brain is still developing and this and that. And I don't know. I guess you have to teach your kids what to listen to and what I don't know how to explain it.
Personal story. Had a neighbor who basically propositioned me, and I was 16 years old. He could take care of me. I'm gonna need somebody like that in my life to take care of me. It could be our little secret. You know who I'm talking about. But it was definitely, he kept trying to push the subject of me becoming involved with him. And I was 16 years old. Had only had like one boyfriend, no, maybe 2 boyfriends in my entire life, like at that time.
So what is it in you at the age of 16 that kept you from saying, okay, let me let this grown man take care of me?
I knew it was wrong. Like, I think that was like the main thing, is that I knew it was wrong. Like, first of all, like, let's stop the fact that you're a married man. Like, on that, you got a whole wife and a kid my age. But like, I'm a child. Like, what is it about me that you are finding attractive? Like,
I never understood that either.
I'm a child. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a child. Like, I don't understand it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, 16, you know, when you get that age, puberty done already hit and everything. But at the same time, it was still, my mindset is I'm still a child. Like, I call my mother mommy. I still call her mommy, but that's just her name. Like, that's her name. But it's just, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that I can offer you, but you trying to offer me everything. It just didn't seem, I don't know, it just wasn't right to me. So I knew that it wasn't right, and I promptly let him know, like, I
feel like with some of these girls, they knew it wasn't right. Like the one that her parents was in the movie at the end. You probably didn't get to
I didn't get to that part.
But dang, what was the girl name? She had the curly hair. Azriel, I think that was her name. Like her, she was sneaking off. Like, she went to Florida and her parents didn't even know her or something like that. Or she met up with R. Kelly behind her parents' back, and they're like, oh, well, we went. And they sent her daughter, one of the girl's sister, with her initially when they was going on tour. They said every time she would go, somebody would go with her. The dad, the mom, the sister, the brother. And the sister was down there one time, and she even told them she didn't witness a situation that she didn't feel comfortable with. she left, but why didn't you make sure your sister came along with you?
First of all, you would not have been there by yourself with me.
I'm not gonna be there anyways.
Like the same person that propositioned me had made a comment about her, and I promptly let him know about himself. Like, I'm gonna need you to keep your eyes off of this here.
Even my grown cousin, like, we were at the house one time, and this is what, five years ago maybe, and he made a comment about my little cousin. You don't do that.
Like,
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna need you to keep your eyes. Don't say any. You have nothing to say. Like, and I think this was around the time when after I moved away, and you was probably just starting college or something like that, maybe, or in high school. And he was saying, he was making those comments. That is my little sister. That is a child. You are a grown man, and I'm gonna need you to step off.
I can't get with stuff like that.
So it's at some point, like, how do we teach girls to just be strong enough to just say no? Like the young lady Lizette who met him in the mall, and she went to the studio, and he made these promises of, first of all, he manipulated her and from the get, because you got. This can happen in any profession, whether it's being a singer, an actress, a doctor, a lawyer, like any profession. When you got this person that's in power and this person that can make moves and make things happen, they use that to get what they want by promising.
I guess that kind of goes to back to your question. What do we do to teach our girls, our little girls? You got to teach these kids that they got to work for whatever they get, and nobody's going to hand something to them. You also got to be cautious about people. If you get a bad feeling about people, you got to go with it. Like, my gut will never steer me wrong. And I tell my kids that all the time. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. If something feels uncomfortable, you got to say something. If it's not to me, you got aunts, you got uncles, you got teachers, you got whatever. Like, there's somebody. But also, that you can
there's
talk
sometimes to. Where you feel like, oh, God, I'm about to get personal again.
Embarrassed?
So, not embarrassed, but you feel like you're not going to be believed. So I say this because, so this is R. Kelly. So we know when he was going through the child pornography trial, there was a ton of people that wasn't him in the video. They watched the video. They saw the video. They saw R. Kelly in this video with an underage child. That wasn't R. Kelly. They just trying to bring the man down, you know. So in that sense, you feel like you can't come forward because nobody's going to believe your story. So on a personal note, this man was the cool dad on the street. He was the cool guy on the street. Everybody loved him, you know. He got along with all the kids, boy, girl, whatever. Like, everybody loved him. He was the cool dad on the street. So when I did say something, because he showed up at my job, a place where he should not have been anywhere near for any type of reason, because it was way out of the way, and for something so stupid. But he was there to see me because he offered to get me home. And let me give you a ride home and all of this other stuff. So when I said something, and I'm not going to say the person that said it, but I did have somebody say, that ain't true. That ain't true. He wouldn't have did that.
See, but I feel like you
read into that wrong. So then you kind of feel like, well, why did I even open my mouth? Like, I should have just, nobody's going to believe it. Like, this is the cool guy. So I can understand that this is R. Kelly. R. Kelly's not going to be, why would he mess with an underage girl when he could get all these grown women? So I can kind of understand, feeling powerless. Or when it happens and then you want to go and tell somebody, but then it's that fear of, is anybody going to believe me? But where do we go? Like, he never, like, not in the beginning, he never forced, I don't think they said that he forced any of the girls down. So, like, with Lizette, when he kissed her in the studio, that was her chance to be like, yeah, no. Like, she said it was, like, what are you doing? This is wrong.
So, at what point, I guess, people personally have to ask themselves, like, what are you going to do for fame? Or, like, what's your limit for a promotion? Because like you said, it could be in any business. It happen every day in a regular office job where you got people sleeping together to get their way to the top. At the end of the day, you got to just know that if your self-worth is, if your ability to work, or your work ethic, or the skill that you possess is not enough to get you to the top, then maybe you need to find a different skill. Because I never have sex with somebody to get ahead. If it ever gets to a point like that, I feel like at that point you should know when to move on. Yeah. Because if your talent, whatever it may be, should be enough to carry you to where you need to be, is what I'm saying. Or you should at least be confident enough in your talent to know, like, I don't got to kiss this person, I don't got to sleep with this person, I don't got to do this with this person to get to the next level, or to even get my name known or heard, or whatever the case is. Because if people believe in you, they're going to believe in you regardless. So maybe that was a tactic for R. Kelly. He knew how, obviously, that was the type of woman, the girls that he preyed on. People that, I'm about to get you a record deal. I'm about to help you get an album. I'm about to get you published or whatever the case is. So he obviously used that as a crutch or as a means to get these women, to at least get them intrigued or involved. And they say, obviously, he turned out to be nice. And if you do this for me,
then maybe I'll,
Yeah, but...
Because I think that... So that leads back to your question of what gave me the strength to tell that person, I don't need you to take care of me. I think it was a lot of the way we were raised. Like, like I watched our mother, 4 kids, pretty much do it on her own. Yes, she had our grandmother there, for help. And if she needed to lean on family, then they were there. But she never really depended on a man. Like, I don't have any memories in all of my life of her ever depending on a man to do anything. So I was working at 14 years old. Like,
me too.
Got my first job when I was 14.
Me too.
That does not mean babysitting. Like actual collecting a paycheck. You know what I mean? So I've always had this mindset of I can take care of myself. I don't even like asking you for anything. You don't have that problem.
I sure don't. Not in his family. Family helps family, okay?
You the baby, so you have no problem being like, hey. But I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a strong believer. If I can't provide for myself, then it must, obviously I don't
That's
need
a whole
it,
other topic within itself, too.
But,
I think that you have to, within yourself, just know that you are good enough to not need somebody to validate your talent or to validate your success or to,
you as a person. Like, you got to believe in yourself.
I agree. And if you're not confident enough in that craft that you're going after, then you either need to perfect it or you need to get yourself a new craft. Because you should never let anybody, man or woman, because people think that women are not pedophiles and stuff, and they are. It's just as disgusting as men are. So it's not just like a male versus a female thing. And that's for everybody. You got to teach your kids when they're young their self-worth. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think I will ever understand. Like, I'm, again, not victim shaming at all. Like, we will recognize the person that was wrong in this, and that is Robert. He is the person, he is an adult. He knew what he was doing, and he knew what he was doing was wrong. Allegedly. You got to add that in. Allegedly.
Yeah.
But, but my thing is, it's just, I just never understand hearing something, especially about a particular person, and still being like...
See, but this is the thing. And I'm not... Again, this is just playing devil's advocate. You got these people making Robert R. Kelly seem like this monster. Like his wife, Andrea, whatever her name is, Kelly... on there still, she's on the show boohoo crying, he stopped taking care of us so long ago, oh my god, he was so abusive. And I'm not taking away from her history, her past. I can't tell her what her truth is, but you can't then be on social media. I don't care if the video was 2 years old, you can't then 2 years later get on tape saying how devastated you are. I can sing my ex-baby daddy songs because this family, I can say what I want about him because that's family. Y'all can't say nothing. Yeah, I'm about to sing his songs. Oh, happy Pete, like you're in the car singing. I can't get with stuff like that because you just defamed, or you just, how do you call it?
Being hypocritical?
Well, she just basically, I'm trying to figure out the word. You just made me not believe the documentary. That's going to make me think like, dang, well, maybe this not real because...
Maybe not all of it is real.
You sat here and said, the checks got cut a long time ago and this and that and the third. But you on a video, like I said, even if it was 2 or 3 years ago, my baby daddy take care of us. He take care of us. You can't say that. And then you on the videos that you on the show with all these other victims saying the same thing. And just like we just sat up here and watched her and her daughter on that morning show. And they're like, so do you believe the other women? I can't speak to any of their truths. That her response to me,
I understand that because she can't speak to their truths because he didn't allow.
It's the way that she said it. Okay. In my opinion, is the way she said it is like, I can't speak to their truth. I can only say what happened to me. Now, once did she say we share similar stories? Or I know that this could be true because this same instance has happened to me. Her words were, I can't say what they saying is true, but all I know is what happened to me. And this and that, I can't speak to their truth, but I know for sure that he tied me down to a bed, or I had to knock on the door and ask for food, or I had to call him daddy every time that I spoke to him. It wasn't like a relate thing. It was more like a disconnect. Like, well, I know what happened to me, but
so she was making it about her,
right?
It was this is my story.
So her right there is
I gotta get
the
my
word
story
I was
out
looking
there.
for. Discrediting. She's for her alone right there. She's discrediting the whole movie, in my opinion. Because you can't then turn around, get on there.
People,
Ooh, time's up.
we it's time up. I don't know. We done. I don't know. We could go on, but like I said, we don't want this video to be super long for y'all. So if y'all want,
we're gonna have to redo this
more,
video though.
We're not.
I feel like it's all over the place.
We're not. It kind of is, but that was the documentary. It actually was
all over the place.
But if y'all want us to like talk some more on this topic,
we're gonna do another video about this Me Too thing because I really want to talk about this whole Me Too thing.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about Chris Brown.
I want to talk about Chris Brown. I want to tie Bill Cosby into this whole thing. I would like to talk about the girl that got raped in the club.
Yes.
So we're gonna come back with a part 2.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some more about this, but we don't want to keep y'all forever and make this video too long. So with that being said, we're gonna go.
So with that being said, like, subscribe, comment, give us some show ideas, give us some feedback on the show. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Peace.
Bye.
Okay. I was trying to time it.
Okay,
go.
so we'll pause. Wait, we'll just count to 3 in our heads. Our tempo is the same. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll start because we can cut all of this out.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, I think you could call it. It was like 6 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So we'll call it a docuseries. And just so that we don't go over time, I am going to set a timer.
Let's start over because I'm scratching. I need to stay still, and I'm all over the place. Okay. So you guys say, welcome to episode 2 of Chit Chat.
Okay, you want me to say what?
Yeah, I want you to be professional.
All right.
Go.